Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are the co-hosts of Jumping Bomb Audio, the podcast all about Joshi Pro Wrestling here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. Every other Monday, we are with you talking about the biggest news in Joshi, along with show reviews, previews, and much, much more.
So if you're new to Joshi or you've been a longtime fan, this is the show for you. We've got something for everyone here. So check us out, Jumping Bomb Audio.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Super J-Cast. I'm Joel, joined by Damon McDonald. It is Thursday the 22nd of February 2024. This is episode 298. Damon, the words are on everyone's lips. This Twitter clout shit is a dirty game.
It sure is. It sure is. A lot of people rattling cages and upset over absolute bullshit. But hey, whatever gets you up in the
more heat than the IWGP title match coming up on Saturday in Sapporo. This is what all the questions are about. This dead gimmick. Dead gimmick says, why hasn't Kieran been banned as an act of mercy? I mean, no sitting on the fence. Who is your pick in the big Drainmaker versus Kieran debate about the on this day Twitter things?
I could not give a shit either way. I think they both should just fight. That's what I think. I think it should be. We should set up a ring, a cage, some type of
gimmicks.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah, they should settle it. They should just settle it to a duel. Look, whatever. I understand to a certain degree of the sense of if you feel like your content is getting kind of in your gimmick, if you will, is getting copied. I get it, but let's understand.
I can't relate to that at all, Damon.
I know.
Completely new concept to me.
I was about to say, doesn't it seem like these people? That's what it is. I know some of them put out their own content to a certain degree, but yeah, I mean, come on, it's just come on, real. I don't know, whatever. But
I don't know what I would do if I didn't have people reminding me on what happened on a certain day, a given number of years ago. I'd be a mess.
Right, I know. What is that? The Sopranos quote?
Remember when is the last formal conversation?
Right. So good.
When this happened several years ago, yes, thanks.
Right.
Get on with it.
Right. Exactly. Whatever. But I can't. What I honestly can't believe is that there are other people that. Okay, so somebody does it. Whoever the first person was should get it. How about that? The first person who did it. If there is a way to see when the Twitter account or the X account was created, then that's
if the accounts get taken down because of DMCA claims.
No, you start over.
So does that mean you go to the back of the line? If your account gets taken down. Oh, I like this.
Yeah, I mean
that'd be like a lineal champion of on this day Twitter.
Correct. Yes, that's how it should be settled. And whoever is on the short end gets the short straw, so to speak. Then you got to find something new. That I look. I hate to be the judge and the jury here, but I am the most respected person in all of New Japan Pro Wrestling and its commentary.
Correct.
Thank you. And I have decreed that is what we're going to do. I have set the law. That is what we're doing. So if we can have an official ceremony, and we do not recognize
package with music.
Yep.
Like they do before the title matches.
Right. Yeah. And you know what? If maybe why am I getting myself involved in this? Holy shit. Maybe if I was going to say maybe if they have compelling arguments, they can bring that in front of the judge and defend
Time
their
zones.
case.
What about the time zones? Someone might be living in a different time zone.
That's a good point. Somebody's living in the Fiji Islands right now.
Yeah, we need evidence of them with a local newspaper.
Yes. Yes, with a date, time. Yep, I agree. Look, it's you know what? On the surface, I was just, this is very, very minor. But now, now that you've opened my eyes to this, it's there's a lot involved here. The Twitter clout, the Twitter clout is was it a shitty business? Don't be surprised.
It's a dirty game.
Dirty game. My bad.
That could be the name of the match or the show, the pay-per-view, Dirty Games.
Ooh, that's going to be the name of this episode. Are you kidding me? That's how I'd come up with a title. Whatever review.
Clout Wars, Dirty Game.
Yeah.
Clout Wars : Dirty Game. There we go.
Love it. And don't be surprised if somebody monetizes this. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that there's just an absolute goldmine waiting for people who can get lots of clout on Twitter. We know that more than anyone. Tiny slice of clout, big pocket full of cash.
Yeah, that always equates, right? I will say this, though. If I'm being truthful to our listeners and ourselves, there is something to be said when something, when you fire off a tweet of, whoever's leaving or we're hearing whatever thing. And we don't do it a lot anymore because we don't give a fuck about Twitter anymore. We don't care. Like, honestly, let Fightful and Post and whomever get away with it. Every once in a while we'll pop in just to make sure everybody knows what's up. Who's really fucking got the gimmicks. We don't care anymore. We do it in our Discord. That's where we have that. And yeah, the people that are in, they get to reap the benefits, and they're trusted. They're not being stupid. They're not, they're smart cookies, and they behave themselves, and that's we're good. We're good, right? We don't need all the Twitter stuff. So, but I will say there is something to be said about when you fired off a couple of those, and you're just looking at all the fucking retweets and the fucking all the engagement stats. You think it's important, right? You feel like, oh my god, wow, I must have done something right or wrong, and you come to realize that it means nothing. It means absolutely zilcho. So, all right, that's that. I wish everyone did.
Most things I tweet, I just mute them immediately because I'm not interested. When I throw a stick for a dog, I don't want to know whether it tastes good or not.
Well said. You know what? You are the most eloquent human being I know. You. Lots
of people are saying this.
I think so. I don't think there's any doubt, right? I could just listen to you for hours. Just talk. So good. Very good. Me, on the other hand, it's like fucking chalkboard, nails, whatever. I don't know. All right.
A bit like the commentary in Revolution Pro Wrestling.
Oh my god! I choked on my water. That was good. Yeah. Oh my god. Was that?
That
what a
might be
segue. It really was. Yeah. Look. Of course, I think many who listen to this show, we like to keep up on certain people and keep up on matches that are rated very highly and come highly recommended. Well, of course, we had to check out matches over the past week. Will Ospreay doing it again. And yeah, that commentary, holy moly, just a bunch of screaming. And here's the thing too, like on a podcast like this, I don't know, I'm not going to give excuses, but we talk how we talk, and we don't, whatever. We talk like we normally would if we were sitting at the fucking bar. That's what it is. But on commentary, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I have these weird fucking standards that I want to hear from a broadcaster. Like if you're getting paid for it, I don't know. kind of rubs me the wrong way. But yeah, it was a little much, wasn't it? Oof. God almighty.
I've not watched it yet. I hold my hands up. I'm scared of it because I know the commentary will just make my brain melt. And also, I don't like Michael Oku. I just don't like him. It's like he looks like he's built like cheeseburger, but he wrestles like he thinks he's Shingo Takagi. There's just a disconnect there, and it just everything's so melodramatic and over the top. It's just like
Okay.
prime NXT overblown Gargano Ciampa on steroids crack.
Totally hear you. I hear you, and I will say this, that some of that element you do kind of you can latch onto in the match with Ospreay. I thought he was really good. I did. I thought the whole entire match was really good. Maybe they just, obviously they have decent chemistry, but they were doing, I don't know, like if you're a fan of Rev Pro, there are certain moments in that match, the callback spots and just interesting the ways they did it. It was a great match, and I think both guys like gave their like one of the best performances. Now, again, at the end, Will does his heartfelt speech, and yeah, you definitely felt it. Don't get me wrong. Like I don't think he was lying about anything he was saying. I mean, if you're an AEW guy or gal person, and you kneel at the altar of Tony Khan, you're not going to have a problem. If you are the opposite of that, oh boy, you're going to be vomiting in your sink with the absolute love fest that was going on. Look, I was happy for all parties. I think Rev Pro had a great show. I think, it was a hell of a card too. I mean, Shingo's on the card, and Will, obviously Zach's on the show, singles matches. So I mean, it was a good show. It was well worth your time. So Rev Pro wins. AEW obviously wins because they have just a remarkable pro wrestler. And I was thinking about Will Ospreay. Back in the day, Flair was the gold standard when it came to having a wrestler make others look great and have their best match. Like if you were to go through, okay, who was this person's best match? Ronnie Garvin's best match against Flair. Who's Dusty's best match against Flair? Who's Steamboat's best match against Flair? Whomever? You should go down the list, and it's like Flair, and there really hasn't been a guy. And I'll limit this to a North American audience, mind you, that has been that person for the longest time, and everybody now currently, like it's Will Ospreay, who has that distinction of being everyone's best match. Like I can't think of a better compliment. You could say somebody's a great wrestler. You can say someone super talented. But to say that literally every person that has there, if you were to say, okay, what was your best match? What was your great? Will Ospreay's got to be top of the list. And in this day and age, that's saying something. That's really saying something.
Right. Well, I don't really have a great deal to add to that because, like I said, I've not seen the Rev Pro show, but we have a question from William who's asked, have we seen any of it? And he says he can report that Youngblood looks very decent from there. So,
yes.
Did you just watch the Ospreay Oku match, or did you see anything
outside
of that?
I watched. I'm terrible with names, especially guys I'm unfamiliar with. So bear with me. But the Zach match I thought was very good. The tag match was good. They looked like they. You know how like sometimes it feels like guys are just stuck together for the sake of sticking them together in tag situations. And while this is kind of new, they felt like a good team. Like they felt like they had I don't know if chemistry is the right word, but like you weren't sitting there like, okay, this is just for shits and giggles. Like it felt like they were a team, and I think that's important to me, at least to me, when I watch stuff like that. But I thought that match was good. I'm trying to think, was there a bad match?
I've heard mixed things about the Shingo Trent Seven match.
Trent looks weird, to say the least. He does not look like he's in ring shape, if you get what I'm saying. It looks a little bigger than I remember him, and not in the good spaces, not in the good places. It wasn't. No, I don't know if it was bad. It was. I think, like when you have a Shingo in the ring, expectations are automatically raised to a certain degree. There is a standard. There is like a benchmark. Again, I'm not going to go so far as to say bad, Joel, but it was. I don't know. I think there was maybe it was the opponent. Maybe who knows. It was okay. It was okay.
Right. Well, this show, I apologise because I didn't realise that the first night of Sapporo was on Friday. So by the time you're listening to this, it will probably already have finished. But I'm not going to be able to watch the show live because I'll be at work. I believe it's a public holiday in Japan. It's like Emperor's Day or Emperor's Birthday, something like that. So we are going to talk about Fantastica Mania. We are going to preview the two Sapporo shows. I'm just going to get straight into Fantastica Mania because the two shows at Korakuen were a lot of fun. They're always the ones you sort of pencil in as going out of your way to watch. I didn't like them quite as much as last year's show, but there was some good stuff, particularly the singles matches, and there's always the little kind of backstage shenanigan things and all, the funny bits and pieces that go on in a Fantastica Mania, sort of the non-canon things. So we had a Hiromu playing this role of like some sort of agent representative, Barry Bloom style, Mr. Takahashi. That was quite funny. A lot of people grabbing onto Tanahashi's love handles. He's really leaning into that. Taguchi, when he does his thing like he's an Egyptian wrestler with his little pharaoh, his pharaoh hat thing, and he got very upset one night because he was worried his identity was going to get revealed, and he was asking if they were going to pixelate his face backstage, and then he also cut a backstage promo in a completely silent one, so he was gesticulating wildly and speaking, but there were no words coming out of his mouth and no subtitles, and it was very funny. He's a bit of a guilty pleasure for me. Taguchi, I think he's actually quite a funny bloke, but in terms of interest in his wrestling, that's gone down the toilet. But time waits for no man. The commentary I thought was really good. I mean, you can tell Walker Stewart has been working really hard to make sure he's done his homework with a lot of wrestlers that he's maybe less familiar with talking about, but you can tell he's put the hours in. The solo shows, I thought he did a really good job with those, which is not easy to do, especially when it's a load of wrestlers that you may not have seen before. But I thought that was really good stuff because a lot of us with Fantastic Mania, we kind of hand wave it, and a lot of people don't bother watching it, and people give it a miss. So for him,
I feel like I'm being called out.
No, I'm not attacking you directly, Dan, because you've watched all these Fantastic Managers. You're going to give us your in-depth report on them. But the point I was trying to make in a really clumsy way is that most people can't be bothered with Fantastic Mania, so it's a good sign that Walker has worked so hard to try and do his absolute best in delivering top quality commentary for that, and knowing everything that he needs to know for something that is as relatively inconsequential as Fantastic Mania. And it did make a difference. I did appreciate having all that background info. So stuff that stood out to me, there was a Black Cat Memorial tag match, which stood out for me for the sequences between Francesco Akira and Mascara Dorada. And I would love to see Mascara Dorada in Best of the Super Juniors. I don't know if he will be in, not because he's not good enough, but just because he seems to be the sort of crown jewel of CMLL at the moment. So I don't know if that's, if they would want him away for doing a tournament like that. But at the very least, Akira was really showcased in this match, and being away from United Empire, and I think there's a lot of upside in Akira being a singles competitor this year, which obviously his recent history has been doing mostly tag stuff, but I think there's a lot of potential with him going on a babyface singles run. There was a Briante Jr. Again, excuse my shit pronunciation here. Briante Jr. versus Titan match, and Briante Jr. is someone who, again, there's a lot of talk about him being a potential best of the Super Junior entrant, and I think this is the gimmick that Andrade or La Sombra used to have prior to taking the La Sombra gimmick. So there are a lot of sort of tributes to that, doing the moves that he used to do. And this was a really good showcase for Briante Jr. because Titan is a guy who I don't think gets enough love for being able to make his opponents look good. Of course, he did that on one of the biggest stages for junior heavyweights in the Best of the Super Juniors final last year with Watto. And I don't think it was a coincidence that was, I think, inarguably Master Watto's best match because he had someone like Titan opposite him. So Titan is absolutely the guy you want if you've got a young star and you want to hide their weaknesses and accentuate their strengths. So that was a really fun match to watch. There was a singles match between Soberano and Templario where they did a lot of really crazy stuff. There was a really gnarly bump off the ring apron, and then they bumped off the ring apron and then did an additional bump on the floor by accident. And sometimes when wrestlers, when something sort of goes wrong and then you just watch from their reaction to it, that you can say, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen there, because Soberano did that, the sort of, oh, fuck, are you okay kind of response, kind of leapt over and was sort of patting him, being like, are you okay, mate? But they did a lot of really ambitious stuff here. Like, they were very keen to put on a show. They went balls to the wall there. And also, later on in this tour, they established I think it was like a trios team of Templario, Soberano, and Rocky, which I think they're going to be picking that up, presumably in the Mexico Fantastic Mania shows. But that was a big moment because Templario and Soberano, I believe, had not teamed before up until that point. They've been rivals on opposite sides. There was a very good main event for the first night of the Korakuen show between Volador and Rocky. Obviously, they've had a lot of recent history and really great matches in CMLL. So Volador got his big win here. And yeah, that was a really tremendous match. And yeah, I mean, it sort of makes me think about those guys who used to be kind of mainstays of Best of the Super Juniors, but now they're not in it anymore. And I don't know, I think there'd be a lot of value in bringing one or both of them back into Best of the Super Juniors, and it's just been really good to see both of them getting a bit of a showcase because Rocky is a guy who we these days sort of primarily associate with the work that he does in the office, but forget sometimes he is a really, really good pro wrestler. So it's good to be on show there. Matt says, how cool is Hechicero? So there was a singles match on the second night at Korakuen with Hechicero and Atlantis Jr. That one I really loved. That was like a dude's rock match. Just, I singled out Hechicero for praise last year. I thought he really stood out from the Fantastic Mania tour. And he seems to be getting a lot of plaudits now for the work he's doing in the States, which is very well deserved. I would love to see more of him in New Japan. But very, very talented wrestler. And the way things are going, I expect he's going to be getting phone calls from AEW to do a lot more work with them. There was also talk of him challenging Tanahashi for the TV title.
Nice.
So, yeah, we don't know if Tanahashi's still going to have the TV title by the time that match rolls around. But again, that's something I will be thinking for the Mexico shows, the Mexico Fantastic Mania shows. I think Tanahashi versus Hechicero would be a really fun match, whether or not that TV title is on the line for that. And what else we got here? Then we had Mystico against Ultimo Guerrero. So that was the old dudes rock match. I don't know. There's just something about seeing the old guys on these Fantastic Mania shows that I find very fun and endearing. And I'm always kind of surprised at how good they are. Like, they look like absolute shit. And you think, oh my God, this is going to be a train wreck. But then they're amazing. Like, technically brilliant. They're sort of flying off the top ropes. It's quite staggering how good these guys are. So, Mystico has traditionally been the guy who's been front and center of these Fantastic Mania shows. The last year when he just refused to leave Korakuen Hall and was walking around the outside for like 45 minutes, just high-fiving and kissing everyone. So, it wasn't in the main event spot this time, but a really good match nonetheless, even though he's slowing down a bit, but it's always fun to see him, and he absolutely loves being in Japan, loves being in Korakuen Hall. And the main event for the last show was Mascara Dorada against Stuka Jr. So, of course, this is the new Mascara Dorada. So this is the guy he's 22 years old, and I think he's only got 2 years of experience, but just unbelievably good, like so talented and just an incredibly high ceiling for this guy. And I thought Stuka was a really great base to showcase Dorada's talents and let him do all the high flying stuff. And that probably, I think that's the match I enjoyed the most over the whole Fantastica Mania tour. So all of those singles matches, really, none of them went on too long. They're all a fun watch. So if you have time to kill, just stick them on. I think you'll have a good time watching them. And Stuka challenged Mascara Dorada for a mask versus hair match. So they've seemed to be doing a really good job here setting up stuff for the next Fantastica Mania shows in Mexico. So it's caught my interest at the very least, and I think it's smart booking to pave the way for your next show, the current show that people are watching. So D. Terrier says, thoughts on the new generation of stars like Mascara Dorada, Templario, Soberano, etc. Yeah, I want to see more of them. And we've heard that Soberano has signed a 1-year deal with New Japan. I don't know what that will look like. Like, is he going to be in the New Japan Cup? Is he going to be in a G1? I'm not sure. I've not heard anything, but I would love to see it. Templario, again, yeah, he's really impressed me in this tour. But my number one guy is Mascara Dorada, and obviously he is like the ace of CMLL at the moment. So I don't know how much New Japan involvement we will see, because if you bring in a Mascara Dorada to a Best of the Super Juniors, that's not a guy that they're probably not going to be happy with him going like, I don't know, having 6
3
points
and whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, if you're going to bring him in, I think it would benefit all parties really to have him get a proper push, because, burnt fingers after the whole Ryu Lee thing. I mean, I understand there might be a bit of caution from both parties there, but he's definitely a guy with tremendous potential. So Mascara Dorada is the guy that really stood out to me. And it's not a particularly hot take, because he's got tons of plaudits at such a young age, but that is a Fantastica Mania. I had a fun time watching it. Well done
Nice.
to everyone involved.
Well done as well. I'm going to bring up a couple points. One, I was flipping channels this week, and I do have access to the fighting TV from Japan, and they were playing, I guess, an old anniversary show from CMLL, and it was a multi-man tag match. It was Rocky and Kevin Knight, and I want to, TJP. Yep, and they were heels. They were like doing this bandito kind of American heel gimmick. I just thought that was an interesting combination of people. Here's the thing. I will tune into Fantastica Mania when people say, watch this match, is good. Usually I'll carve out that time for that. I don't watch the whole thing. Longtime listeners know it's not my jam, and for the people who do enjoy it, I think it's a good break in the New Japan Pro Wrestling seriousness, to take this little break after Wrestle Kingdom. Great. I always feel like when it's done, though, that there's more to sink your teeth into from a junior perspective than from a heavyweight perspective. And I would love to see something come of Fantastica Mania that develops into more of a storyline for other heavyweights. And trust me, there are times where I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't understand why this guy would be considered a New Japan would consider them a junior, but okay, great. And I do love the fact that there is that little hint of Tanahashi kind of, working the TV title. I love to see more of that. And I love to see more of that on a Sakura Genesis, I don't know, fucking Dontaku, something else, just to have a little bit more progression and storyline when it comes to heavyweights. Yes, we've had instances of that, but it feels like it's few and far between. While this does do wonders for dream matchups and fantasy booking and creative new opponents for New Japan guys when things seem stale, it's awesome to bring in a guy like Mascara Dorada, right? And spice things up instantly. I would love to see a little bit more of that when it comes to heavyweights. And I don't know if that will ever be the case. And when it does happen, it seems like it kind of manifests itself in Mexico as opposed to here. I guess what I'm saying is that there's a fuck ton of talent there that New Japan could dip their toes in, and I understand that CMLL is their own fucking company and they're doing quite well, thank you. And to lose a person for an extended period of time might not be in their best interest. Understood. For the people who are screaming at their fucking cars right now or whatever they're screaming at, listening to this show. But you do see my point, right? It like to have that much talent sitting there, and I don't want to say at your disposal, but I'm sure something can be worked. Let's put it that way. Because just like you said, those guys coming over for this fantastic, like it feels like, aside from the payday, like they love it. Like there is no one else. And give me an example if you can. Like there's no one else that they bring in that appreciates the time, the effort, the whole 9 yards. They appreciate everyone in the stands. They appreciate all the masks. They appreciate the fucking Mexico flags. They appreciate the fucking vuvuzeluzas or whatever the fuck they're called, that horn thing. Like they love it, love it. Bring them back. Like I think it'll do wonders. Again, this might be just an old guy screaming at the clouds, but like you have all that. There is a working relationship there. I want more than just, okay, we're going to drop this guy in for Best of the Super Juniors, and okay, we're going to drop this guy in for World Tag League. Like I kind of want more. Like give me a G1. You know what I mean?
They mentioned it, like Xander Khan Jr., who was in World Tag League and teamed up with Tsuji. I was really surprised and a bit disappointed that he wasn't featured on Fantastica Mania at all. I think that sort of lineup was penciled in before whatever went down with World Tag League that necessitated them doing the late call up for Xander Khan Jr. But I mean, surely you could shuffle things around to bring him in because I thought he was a big hit there, and they could have done some interesting stuff with a guy who is young, talented, good looking, caught the imagination of the Japanese fans, and was a heavyweight.
Right. Yeah, I mean that would be, again, a long-term goal. I would love to see that. And it's not like this is the first time they fucking had Fantastica Mania. It's it's all the time, every year. So, just something to think about. I would like to see it. I think it would benefit both parties tremendously. Like I think both, like you can continue that on. You could have them go back over to Mexico. There's I don't know. Like I'm kind of fantasy booking in my head, like, man, the possibilities are endless. And again, I feel like New Japan does a good job, a decent job anyway, when it comes to, solidifying some junior stuff. But hey, man, I think we can expand that. I think we could scale that. And I think that's a great place to start when it comes to new, fresh blood.
All right, let's move on then to preview the new beginning in Sapporo. So I'm just trying to think of the sequence of events where I can urge people, don't watch New Beginning in Sapporo. Listen to the Super J Cast first, then go and watch New Beginning in Sapporo. That's what sensible people should do. But anyway, so the first night of this is tomorrow, Friday, February 23rd, in the Hokkaido Prefectural Sports Center. So we've got a Frontier Zone match, which Tomoyo and Toriano against Shomakato and Tomoaki Honma, but I've nothing to say about that. There's some good, actually not good, great, really fantastic writing on this on the Voices of Wrestling website from our friends John Carroll and Jay Michael, who have written in-depth previews for both nights, which is a compulsory reading, as always, because their stuff is just tremendous. So I strongly encourage anyone who's not done so and not watched these shows yet to go and read their stuff, because they give a lot of really great insight, particularly for little things like the Frontier Zone. John did a little dive into a wrestler who was the champion of this. I think it's a Hokkaido-based promotion, but anyway, it's really good stuff there. So I urge you to go and read their work. First match is Yuji Nagata versus Zack Sabre Jr., which just seems like a nice little tune-up match for Zack. They're just trying to keep him busy, keep him prominent, give him singles wins to hopefully keep that all-important momentum going for him to do something great this year. Maybe this is the match where he does something terrible, Damon. Maybe he's going to like I said, is break someone's leg, break Yuji Nagata's leg. He's got my blessings to do that.
That's not a bad. I mean, listen, that's not a bad spot, right? A beloved senior member of the New Japan roster, like that would be impactful, wouldn't it? And it's not like Yuji Nagata's fucking got a main event, 9 shows this year. Barely used a poor guy. Sparingly at best. Maybe all Japan might suffer, but yeah. I mean, look, singles match. We're going into the cup. Like, to me, this screams a fucking opportunity to do something here. Like, let's do it. Come on, now's the time.
Second match is Oleg Boltin, Yusuke Taguchi, and Togi Makabe against Kanemaru, Yujiro, and Ren Narita. So, I mean, I suppose my biggest thought on this is that Ren just feels very lost and directionless after everything that's gone down in recent weeks with him. Obviously, he lost the big match with, what's his name, Shota Umino. So, I don't know, this could be an opportunity for him to bounce back. So, I know it's only a multi-man tag match, but I feel that he needs something. He needs some sort of rub, some sort of shine going into the cup, and probably could do with having a relatively deep run into that cup, because at the moment he's just looking a little bit of a geek.
Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but it feels like a little bit of a lost in the shuffle kind of thing. Do you even think he's in New Japan Cup?
Ren, yeah, of course. He's got
You're giving me a definitely.
Yes.
All right.
They have everyone in the New Japan Cup. I don't know how big the brackets are. I'm assuming it's 32 or close to it, but yeah, he's got it, surely.
I mean, it depends on how many fucking spots there are. Because, I mean, he's there. One, if he's even in it, and I don't know how many spots, what have you, but like there are lots of guys that I feel like would be better served in that tournament than him. But okay, let's put him in. Does he get out of the second round?
Okay, so I think he's got to go to at least the quarterfinals.
Who's he beating?
The last day, I think. He is going to beat...
Right. You know what I mean?
Yoshihashi.
Oh, okay.
And Great O'Khan.
Wow. Okay. I mean, both of them are doable, right? But I mean, O'Khan. Wow. Imagine O'Khan. Whew, boy. Okay. I don't know. I think if he's in, I don't think he gets out of the second round. I don't know. I just think there's so many other people that would be in the mix of who you would want to give that cup to. Oh, and who you want to, get close to the cup. I don't think he's on my list. Now, you could heat him up, but I mean, of all, we talk about it every fucking week. Of all the 4 guys, he's last in line, right?
Yep.
So I think three of those guys go deeper than Ren. Yota Tsuji goes deeper.
Yes.
Shota Uno gets deeper.
Yeah.
Come on.
I could see this being the sort of thing New Japan likes to do, where they might even pair them off, and Ren gets his win back over Shota. I don't know. It's always difficult predicting the booking of these young guys with New Japan, because the glacial pace that they like to move things along.
Yeah, I mean, aside from like a Bolton or like, I'm trying to think like I mean, if you want to heat the guy up, sure, give him a win over O'Khan. And I'm not sitting here fucking trying to pump up Great O'Khan here as much as we love to. I'm really kind of struggling thinking that they would even do that. Like, I don't know. I mean, all right. You're saying he gets out of the second round, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm saying he doesn't. And I will put $1 American dollar, or if you were like a British pound.
Not yen, though.
No yen.
Yen is down.
No, it's down. It's down. Not worth anything. Yes, I will make that wager if you were in.
Deal. All right. Let's move on then to the third match, which is Yoshihashi, Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii. Oh look, Kazuchika Okada against Callum Newman, Francesco Akira, Henare, Great Khan, and Jeff Cobb. So, yeah, this is the Okada goodbye tour that never ends. I'm very exhausted about discussing Okada at the moment, so I'm just looking forward for it all to be finished. Let's other people in this match. Callum Newman, is he in the cup?
No, I don't. No, I don't think he is. I mean, talent-wise, of course, yes. But pecking order-wise, again, how big is the field? I mean, are we talking fucking 40 guys? Yes, he's in.
I'm assuming 32.
Of 32, is he in? Probably, right? 32 is a big number. 32 is a big number. He's probably in. Would I put him in? Yes. Yes, I would. Is he going to be in? 32, I would tend to say, yeah, he's in.
Is he a guy that you give a win to in the tournament, or is he gets like a showcase match in the first round where he is competitive but loses?
Competitive but loses. Because he hasn't. I mean, again, you do have to start somewhere, but okay, give me, aside from his tremendous upside, like if we're taking off the, I don't want to say the blinders, but if we're kind of sitting there as a fan, like what has he done that would warrant him being in New Japan Cup?
Yeah, just off the top of my head, there have been the two singles matches with Ishii and Finlay where, I mean, he's been soundly beaten, but again, a good showcase to show you that the potential is there. But in kayfabe terms, nothing that would.
Again, talent-wise, he's fucking in, no doubt. I just think if I'm looking at the pecking order of New Japan Pro Wrestling as it stands right now, I mean, he's got to be like one of the last in line. Again, 32 is a big number, but you would think he's probably one of the last in line to get picked.
Fourth match then, we've got Bushi, Hiromu, Yotsuji, Shingo Takagi, Tetsuya Naito against Taka, Doki, Yuya, Taichi, and Sanada. So we'll just hold off thoughts on that because all these guys are facing each other in singles matches the following day. Fifth match, we have the IWGP Women's Championship match where we have the third champion, Mayu Iwatani, against the challenger, Mina Shirakawa. So Jim Ichiban says, are you ready? Excuse the fussing child in the background.
That's all right. Got to poop?
He's been very, very clingy this week. I think he's been a bit poorly. But anyway, I'm gonna power through. Jim Ichiban says, are you ready to learn Mina Shirakawa leg match? So apparently she's a specialist with doing leg matches. But I read the interview with Mayu on the New Japan website, and there was a lot of really good quotes in there. So, I mean, first important thing to keep in mind is that there is a movie coming out about Mayu Iwatani in Japan on May 17th called Runaway Wrestler. So it's a film all about her life. So that may play into the outcome of this. Like, you might very well want to keep the title on her if she's got a big movie coming out and get all that exposure. But some interesting quotes where she is speaking on the New Japan website about the IWGP Women's Championship match. And she says, when it first got announced, I didn't really see what it was for. It felt to me like the owner, Kidani, had just made it on a whim of his. Then the strong women's belt was made, and that was being defended consistently. There weren't many of these IWGP matches, so I didn't get why there was the need for both and the difference between the two. And I'm the champion, so I think that there are New Japan fans that are wondering what's going on with the title. So
Wow.
that is the champion saying that, saying the quiet part out loud. But she's right to say it. That's why these
Yeah.
interviews are always a good read. And then she's speaking about her opponent, Mina Shirakawa, who says, and she says about Shirakawa, there was one time when she was in Stars, that's one of the Stardom units, she had a match with Sayaka Unagi that was so bad, I chewed her out. Like, quote, can you expect people to pay money to watch that? So, yeah, really quite brutal words for her opponent there. But there is definitely, I think, some investment with Mina in this match, because I don't know if you saw this, but she, a couple of months ago, got her face smashed in with a wayward Phoenix splash in a match. I can't remember who it was against, but that I think brought her a lot of goodwill, because she cut a promo afterwards with a teeth all smashed and all blood all over her face. And those are the little accidents that can actually benefit wrestlers, I think. And there's a bit of a buy in there, a bit of a hook where you think, wow, this person's been through some serious hardship, and this is quite an interesting one. There's some good stuff on the VOW piece from friend of the show, Belke. So he's our resident Joshi expert. So it's an interesting one, because Mayu is, for all intents and purposes, loyal to Rossi Ogawa, who has been fired by Stardom. So people are expecting at some point her to follow Rossi with whatever his new endeavor is. Whereas Mina seems more likely to be loyal to Stardom. Like, she used to be one of Yujiro's valet, so she's been with Bushiroad for a long time, and she's a good sort of poster woman. I don't know for the company. She speaks English. She was used at the Southeast Asia Alliance Project presser that happened recently. Very conventionally attractive, and now with this extra sort of backstory of pain and struggle, there's a bit of uncertainty there. So, on the one hand, I think, Mayu retains because she's got the film coming out, but also I wouldn't completely hand wave Mina Shirakawa because of all the things that I've mentioned. So I'm, not a Stardom fan by any means, but I'm quite looking forward to this one.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it made me more interested in the match itself. Just, I mean, not for nothing, hearing the comments of, what are we doing with this fucking title? Is refreshing, actually, and the backstory with the film and the I guess we'll call it the political alliances that had been formed with Stardom's troubles. Look, I think Joel, I don't think you could have done a better job selling the fucking match, getting people pumped up, giving some people to sink their teeth into, and also, look, we have we are very fortunate in the sense that between people associated with VOW and our Discord and everything else, like, we're not experts at everything. We're barely experts at New Japan. But to be able to tap into those resources, look, 5 minutes ago I couldn't give a shit. Now, at least I'm watching it with a hook. And I'm watching it with a little bit more, okay, let's see what's going on here. So, hey, win, right? That New Japan can send us the fucking check because not for nothing, we're doing a really good job of kind of doing your job, but that's okay. That's fine. You got a lot on your plate. We'll take care of it.
All right, sixth match then is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match with the champion El Desperado defending against the challenger Sho. So Andrew on the Discord says, what do you make of Desperado agreeing to a title match with Sho, where Sho has to join Strong Style if he loses? Is this the most cruel stipulation ever come up with? There's quite a lot of these matches on this doubleheader at Sapporo where I don't want to say they've sort of put themselves into a corner, but it just feels like whatever the outcome is, there's an undesirable element to it. So I don't know. How would you feel about Sho losing this match and then, like, let's take the stipulation at face value. He leaves House of Torture joins strong style, whatever that is. I don't know of any strong style. I've looked it up. There's no record of it. Nobody seems to know what it is. But he's joined this strong style thing, whatever it is. If he loses this match, and let's say he goes back to the chaos iteration of show, do you see that as a net positive for him? Because I'm not sure. Because I kind of think he's been more successful as sort of funny face wrench shenanigans House of Torture show. So whilst I think maybe the more interesting outcome is Despy winning and Show being forced to join this dead faction and seeing how that plays out, I can't help but feel Show wins this one just because that's going to be the outcome that annoys the most people. And that seems like a very New Japan thing to do, where everyone's expecting one thing and then they just put the belt on House of Torture Show.
Yeah. Well, I think even if he does wind up joining Strong Style, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's now completely devoid of that element that you enjoy so much of him, his goofy faces and, his bullshit.
Yeah, he could be doing like reluctant odd couple, like truculent tag partner show. I don't know. Right. Is there any value in that, though? Would that be entertaining to you?
But here's the thing. I don't think any version is really my cup of tea, unless it's closer to the chaos version. Like, I enjoy that more than other versions. But like, I don't know how you could just flick a fucking switch and be like, okay, he's no longer this fucking banana sandwich running around. He's now back to quote normal. I don't know how you tell that story without looking completely fucking hokey, like a bad 80s WWF skit. Look, I'm totally fine with him staying. I'm totally fine with him going. I'm totally fine with him not being wacky rule breaker. I'm fine with him toning it down. I'm fine everywhere around. The problem that I have, Joel, is that I don't care that much about him. And even I think if we decided to, and right, you're right. The jury is still out in the sense of, would him going back to a more, and again, air quotes, traditional New Japan Pro Wrestling guy be beneficial to him? I think so. Only because I feel like more people connect with that and want that from him than maybe even he wants. That being said, if he loves what he's doing, I would feel bad. Like, I would feel bad that he's now doing something that he doesn't want. At the end of the day, though, like, I don't see it being a thing where it's like, oh, he's in Strong Style. Now he's, challenging for the global championship. I don't know if that's happening.
Yeah, and sort of to stick with this thing, then the 7th match is the Never Openweight Championship match, where we have the champion Evil against the challenger Shota Umino. And again, a kind of weird, I see it as a lose-lose situation, because I would like Shota Umino to win. I'd like him to start winning matches and winning titles, but I also feel that the Never title is a sort of weird purgatory that I think he should be aiming above.
And that's fair.
That's an interesting factoid that I've plucked out of the Voices of Wrestling preview. More than a third of Never title reigns have lasted fewer than 50 days. So it is a belt that they like to hotshot. So I would not be surprised at all if Evil is losing it on the first defense and they're sort of playing past the parcel with this belt that's been sort of shuffled from wrestler to wrestler quite rapidly over the last 12 months. But I don't know. Is there much value to Shota Umino as Never champion? What is the Never Openweight Championship? What is it for? I don't really see the purpose. It doesn't have much of an identity at the moment. So it feels like, I enjoyed the build up to it with Tamatonga doing giving Shota his blessing, saying, go and kick this guy's ass for me. I like that, but I don't have particularly high hopes for this being a a classic or anything. It's going to be full of shenanigans. I don't know. It's just been a very House of Torture heavy tour, this New Beginning, and I am one of the people who's more sort of looks upon them more favourably than most, and even I'm looking at this thinking there's quite a lot here. It's quite dense with House of Torture stuff. So
Okay.
back to back show and evil matches. That's a choice.
It is okay, but let me play devil's advocate. Let me counterbalance that. Go through the history of that title and the names that have held that title. And we always say that wrestlers make the titles. The never title has no direction because, not for nothing, who's holding it? Like, that's where it feels flat. But in a heartbeat, it could be turned around and made to be a valuable prize, right? Who would he beat? He would be Evil for this title. Well, Evil, not for nothing, is a former world heavyweight champion. He is the stable leader of this wacky faction. He is high enough in the New Japan hierarchy that it would mean something if he got a win. So no, I think this is a good thing. Like, in this particular case, I feel like this is a decent launching pad. This is a decent start. Like, do we want to just drop him in and give him the global or give him the fucking world title? Okay, maybe we talked ourselves into that in the past, but I would have zero problem with him getting a big win, singles win, clean pinfall, overcomes House of Torture, gets the job done, and picks up his fucking singles title. I got no problem with it. I think it's a great idea.
And I kind of feel that the result of the Despy show match is going to tip the hat for the result of this match, because I can't see Show and Evil both winning.
Right.
I could see Despy and Shota both winning, but a double House of Torture clean sweep. Like, it's really conceivable to me that Show wins and everyone's in shock and like, oh my god, it's dastardly House of Torture, and then that really sort of ratchets up the pressure against Shota to make sure that House of Torture don't make off with another single title. So I'm going to pick Shota for the win here.
There you go.
I'm saying Show wins the junior title and Shota Umino wins the Never title, and hopefully goes on to define that title as you've laid out.
Yep, I'm with you.
All right, eighth match then is the 50-minute time limit NJPW World TV Championship match with Hiroshi Tanahashi defending against the challenger Matt Riddle. Of course, plenty has been said about Riddle and whether or not he should be employed by the company in the first place. So for the people who are going to be boycotting this one, more power to you. You vote with your feet. You let the company know what you do and don't want to see. But this is an interesting choice here because he's always going to be a bit of a flight risk, Matt Riddle. So whilst it might be interesting from a booking perspective to immediately belt him up and then, the following night have him joining United Empire and maybe even becoming United Empire leader, I feel that would be quite risky to do. And whilst I always sort of err on the side of bolder booking options, here's one where I think, maybe you just want to dip your toes in the water first. And I think Tanahashi is a good first opponent. Like, he's always a guy, Tanahashi, that people don't talk about this enough. I think where he gets sort of plugged into these spots where he's there to sort of babysit other people, like all the Muto matches, sort of towards the end of the retirement tour, like the Wrestle Kingdom match they had. They made sure that Tanahashi was there and stuck with him just to keep him out of trouble. And again, I think Tanahashi being put against Riddle is a deliberate choice. I do think Tanahashi is going to win, and I think this is a kind of sort of feeling out process to see, what has this guy got? Is he going to be a good fit for this company going forward? And again, I'm not putting my own value judgment on that. I mean, in terms of strictly in ring, we've not seen anything from him in recent years that came close to the stuff he was doing when he was on the independent circuit. But you never know. Sometimes when people go to New Japan, it can give them the whole new lease of life, and he might turn out to be a brilliant worker. Who knows? So a lot of question marks around this one, but I would pick Tanahashi to retain.
Yeah, I think and when this was told to me months ago that he was coming in, it was my understanding that it would be just U.S. dates. And so the fact that they're willing to invest to bring him in to where we know there's lots of problems when it comes to certain substances getting in. I'm not saying he's going to be dumb enough to bring shit. Okay, let me be very clear.
He is in Japan. I can confirm. There was a
Ah,
social media post. He has made it into the country.
okay, then there you go. He's in. He cleared the customs and ready to rock and roll. So okay, good. That's one potential problem. That doesn't mean that every time he goes, it'll be smooth sailing, but okay, fingers crossed. I think it has the potential to be a very good match in the sense of Hiroshi Tanahashi, brilliant in the ring, and knows what his limitations are, and I don't expect him to be, the Tanahashi of 10 years ago. But even what we have here, I think, is a perfect balance for a guy like Matt Riddle. Like you're not gonna do crazy ass shit off the top rope, but in the same breath, you're going to have really strong mat work, I would think, to make for a pretty interesting match. New Japan does like to have guys lose in spots like this, especially the guys that they want bigger things from. And
I would remind everyone that Jonah's first New Japan or in Japan, his first G1 match was losing to Yano. So that was when I was like, yeah, Jonah's going to come and he's going to destroy this guy, debuting guy. They're going to make him want to look good. They very rarely do that.
right. I do, like, look, I think in my head it keeps screaming, why would you bring in a guy to lose? But they do that. And again, I think that in some small way we're playing with fire a little bit in the sense of making sure that he can get into the country successfully. Now, I'm not even going to touch on people who have made a decision to not watch just because they know of the issues of his past. And again, I'm never going to tell you to not do that. But I think a lot of people have concerns with, him making the flight. That's really the honest to God truth. So I'm with you. I would not have a title change because just for that one bit of it's always out there. It's always there. Look, you could have a situation where he wins the title and you never see that fucking title again. Right? I think that is in play. So I'm going to say no title change here.
All right, then our main event is the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship match with the champion, David Finlay, against the challenger, Nick Nemeth. And I think, again, a lot of parallels with this. Nick Nemeth is a guy who has signed, I believe, full-time with Impact, so we don't know how long-term his involvement with New Japan is going to be. So, again, I see this as a sort of test in the water thing. Maybe if it's successful as a guy you bring back for, bigger spots or maybe even a G1 or something. And he is sort of the poster child for sort of wasted potential in WWE. So he is a guy, I'm sure, who's going to come in with a point to prove and wanting to impress people. And I think, again, not for nothing, as you would say, being put against a guy like David Finlay, who... Right, sorry.
That's all right.
You go first, David. I'm going to let you give me your thoughts on Nick Nemeth versus David Finlay.
I'm with you. I saw an interview. I forgive me because I don't remember exactly where. I may have just seen him in the interview, and he was talking about how he knows that standard that we talk about of what New Japan Pro Wrestling is, and especially in a main event. And can he deliver that? And even he has, sometimes had to talk himself into the fact that yes, he can deliver that. So I respect that in the sense that he's going into it with at least the front facing feeling of, okay, I really got to put my best foot forward. I think he's incredibly talented. I really do. I don't know what Father Time has done, but like there was a time where he absolutely could go. Can he still go? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt until I see otherwise. Right? I think he still can. To me, it's a weird spot because you're right. If this TNA agreement is in place, it would be weird to have him win this title, but maybe not. Right? It's not like TNA is this full time touring promotion with dates every single fucking night. That being said, I don't know. For me, anyway, I feel like this match is special in that I think there's more here than what we might think of as a New Japan Pro Wrestling main event. Am I saying that this is the dog pound cage match type shit? Of course not. What I'm saying is that I would not be surprised if there was some type of angle, some type of storyline, some type of something. Because the placement of this match, to me, feels like we're building up to something. Now, maybe we're all angled out. Maybe, Zach is the only thing of major importance storyline angle-wise that we have coming out of this show. Maybe. I cannot sit here and be truthful and say that I don't have this, and I don't know, trust me, I don't know, but I just have this weird gut feeling of something's up. Something's up. Whether that's...
Let's give you some fuel for that, Damon.
Please.
The following night, the Saturday show, the fourth match is Nick Nemeth and Taguchi against Gedo and Finlay.
Ooh.
Now,
Okay.
I do this a lot. I'll look at a tag match that just seems like a nothing tag match, and I think, oh, this could be an angle. But this could be an angle. And I don't know what it could be, but, I don't know. Could he get... Obviously, he would have wrestled David Finlay the day before. Could he be recruited into Bullet Club? I mean, they've got all the Bullet Club stuff going on in TNA, don't they? I mean, there's...
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Could be onto something.
I just feel like something's a brewing. Now, you can go wild and think, okay, he's going to be the new leader of Bullet Club and they're going to get rid of Finlay. He's going to just join, period. He's going to do, I just feel like there is something in the water. And I could be completely disappointed and completely wrong in that gut feeling. It just I don't know. Something's weird about the placement of that match.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I've said before, I'm feeling I think people have sort of dug their feet in on him. I think he's had a really good year so far. So I think this is, it's again something that John and Jay Michael were talking about in their preview, where they've said, if it turns out to be a really good match, then everyone's going to say, oh, Nick Nemeth managed to drag David Finlay to a good match. And if it's bad, then everyone's going to say, oh, I told you, Finlay's rubbish. So kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. But again, I think it's a very deliberate choice for him to be put against a fellow American. Is David Finlay American? I don't know. Is he European? Who knows? But anyway, you take my point, against another fellow foreigner to what am I trying to say? If they've not put Nick Nemeth against a Japanese wrestler, and I think that's deliberate. I think there's a conscious choice there to try and sort of ease him in, sort of linguistically, stylistically. I don't know. I think there's some intentionality behind it. So I do expect David Finlay to win, and I don't think this is the last we're going to see of Nick Nemeth in New Japan.
I agree with all those points. I'm still on the fence. I really don't have a good feel of if they would have him drop. Again, if this turns out to be a new leader of Bullet Club thing, then yeah, I guess we are swapping a title out. If this is I'm joining, okay, maybe not. I mean, I think this is an important match for David Finlay as well. Like, even though I feel like he's had a great year, a very good year. Let me pump the brakes on great. He's been slowly, not even slowly. I mean, we're mid-February here. I think he's done a good job so far. This is a singles match, main event on a show that is somewhat important. Let's. I think that there are still people, and I'm going to be honest, I'm one of them, that are going to watch this match a little bit more. I don't want to say critically, but like, I'm rooting for the dude to make it happen. I'm rooting for both of them to make it happen. But know that, like, he could put the nail in the coffin of a lot of fucking noisy doubters. He really can with this match. So, truth be told, if they do a great angle, I'm all for it. Trust me, I love it. I'm in. I'm more rooting for a great match just because I feel like it's important for New Japan, and I feel like it's important for David Finlay to have that. Okay, you think he's terrible? You obviously didn't watch this match moment. Like, that's what he needs.
Right, that brings us on to the Saturday show, February 24th. We've got Frontier Zone again, Tomoya and Yano against Katsuya Murashima and Tomoaki Honma. First match is Oleg Boltin, Yo, Togi Makabe, El Desperado, and Shota Umino against Kanemaru, Yujiro, Ren, Sho, and Evil. Second match is Yoshihashi, Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Kazuchika Okada in what is supposedly his final New Japan Pro Wrestling match against Francesco Akira, Henare, Great Khan, Jeff Cobb, and Matt Riddle. Now, I don't know if this is going to be as billed, injuries pending, but Kazuchika Okada's last New Japan match, 10-man tag match, second match on the show. Nothing to see here, folks. Everyone's happy. Everyone's good. Okada's happy. Office are happy. All smiles. Good times.
Yeah. So fucking weird, man. I'm sorry. It's that this whole thing has been very weird, and I know that we've talked about it for months, and I still can't get over how this thing is ending. I really can't. I, it's just, I don't think I would ever in my wildest dreams, would I think that not only that this era is ending, it's how it's just going out with a whimper. It is the arguably the greatest New Japan Pro Wrestling heavyweight. And again, the list is long of people that could be in that conversation. But in our time, there, you know, he's right up there in that conversation. And this is it. This is how it ends. It ends with a fucking premature ejaculation. It just is. It's you know what it is. It's one of these fucking things. That's exactly how I feel with this. That sound is exactly how I feel about this situation. A multi-man tag with his chaos buddies, and he's going to turn around in the ramp with tears in his eyes and wave, and then it's on to match 3. Wow, who would have thunk it?
And there's also the big variable here of Matt Riddle joining this United Empire team, which I don't know about leader, but it certainly seems to suggest that he is going to be aligned with United Empire going forward. So there's that, and then there's the fact that it's Okada's last match. There just seems to be a lot going on here, and I don't know what would be a suitable outcome to this match. Is it just, I'm guessing, just Okada pinning Francesco Akira or something like that, and like you say, big hugs, lots of crying, bye bye everybody. but that would be weird to do with Matt Riddle being put into this match. I don't know, the whole thing's just very, very weird, David, and I can't make a logical outcome, a logical finish to this match with all those moving parts.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, why? Okay, so you're right. And again, why would they have him win, have this emotional moment, second match? Matt Riddle is in this match. So you're exactly right there. It is. I am. I'll go so far as to say this. I don't even think it's a guarantee Okada gets the win. Somebody else might get the win. Do you think it's a guarantee Okada gets the win?
If recent trends are anything to go by, Damon.
Right? Unbelievable. Look, it's just not what I would do. And what do I?
He shouldn't win. I mean, if I've got the book, then this is, United Empire getting back in their groove. I don't know if you want to go full steam ahead with Matt Riddle, have him, destroying Yoshihashi or something, whatever, and being like, "Yep, I'm the new leader." Da da da, and you leverage the interest and emotion of Okada's last match into some sort of future direction for your company. But that's not how we do things
No.
here,
No.
Damon. That's a ludicrous and mad and hysterical, outlandish idea from me, the emotional, nutty New Japan fan.
Yeah.
It's not how we do stuff in pro wrestling.
It's not how we do it here. That's for sure. I guess we're watching it just to put a nice cover on the book and close that book. That's it. That's it. That's how I feel. It's just a remarkably weird end of an era. It is like we can sit here and giggle and laugh and fucking just shrug our shoulders, but at the end of the day, this is if not the most important, then right up there, most important wrestler in our lifetime. Just this is it. This is it. Will he come back and do G1s? Will he come back and do Wrestle Kingdoms? Probably, maybe. I don't want to see him for a while, to be truthful. I think he needs time away, and New Japan needs time away from him. It's just a completely awkward thing happening that I hate to say it, I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Third match then is the goodbye match for Tama Tonga, more important than the Okada goodbye match. We've got the original Gorillas of Destiny, Tangaloa and Tama Tonga, against the new Gorillas of Destiny, El Fantasma and Hikuleo. A lot of people are sort of scoffing at this one. I like it. I actually quite enjoyed Tama Tonga's little final run with the company. I think he's gone about it the right way. He delivered a fantastic match that shut a lot of people up, myself included, at Wrestle Kingdom against Shingo. I thought that was brilliant. He put over Evil, gave the title on to him, gave Shota Umino the vote of confidence, and is now going out with what I think is an appropriate match, because he's, for most of his New Japan time, has been part of the Gorillas of Destiny, so it's completely appropriate for him to be going out this way. So I am going to look back on Tama Tonga fondly, because I think the way that they've handled his last couple of months with the company has been really good.
Yeah, I do too. And look, we sit here and we've over the years have poked fun at Gorillas of Destiny, and we've poked fun at we'll drive them to the airport, send them away, all that, and waiting for that great match, and and then he delivers, and then we're waiting again. I get it. The guy's also has been with this company for a long fucking time. Like, just think about all the bodies that have passed through, and he's he's done his time, and he deserves this kind of thing. Like like to me, this is more important than the previous match. It is a weird show, isn't it? Though, like all these fucking last match things is just stacking them on top of each other. Just I don't know. Like there's a big part of me that's like, man, this is just a fucking weird look for New Japan. All these guys walking away. And yes, there are other people that are coming in, but let's be honest. The perception is that, oh, these guys are former wherever stars, WWE stars, right? They're not talented enough or good enough or important enough or whatever the case may be, or they're washed or whatever, that they're not a part of WWE. Like, that's, to me, the general mainstream feeling of this. Like, our good guys are moving on to greener pastures, and now bring on your rejects, right? It's just this show might be one of the weirdest shows in a long time for New Japan. Like, again, back to back. Goodbye. That's wacky.
And then the fourth match here, Ryusuke Taguchi and Nick Nemeth against Gedo and David Finlay. Why is it always Taguchi who ends up getting caught in the crosshair when shit goes down?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't mind having him lie down at this point. So, but even that being said, you got a guy who can lie down on the other side. That's for fucking sure. I mean,
I'm just thinking back to like the Apollo Go-Go stuff, which
that was a million years ago, though, dude.
Precipitated the creation of the Bullet Club, didn't it? So,
I mean,
that's why I'm looking at this match thinking Taguchi being in it is like a bit of a red flag.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think there's something cooking there, no doubt. But yeah, I mean, we talked about it. Between these two shows, there's something there. There's something there.
Or there's just going to be a lot of arse play. Taguchi and Nemeth are both going to get their bums out, and there's going to be a lot of bum fun, and everyone's going to laugh apart from me.
I tell you what,
there's going to be two directions, like red hot, inter-promotional Bullet Club angle, or just a lot of bum fun.
Yeah, well, you love it, dude. One of your funniest fucking tweets ever was you responding to Chris Charlton with what do you say? I swear to God.
I mean, that is an evergreen like meme template. Taguchi completely naked, with his cheeks spread apart.
Our logo, right where his asshole is. I'm telling you, if ever I'm blue, whenever I feel down, I look at that fucking image and I just laugh and laugh. You are a troll. I don't know if that's true, but I thought that was the funniest fucking thing you've ever done. All right. Speaking of funny things, what's next?
Bushi against Taka Michinoku.
There you go. Why? Why are we doing this?
More important than Okada's last match. Nothing to see here, folks. Everything's good.
Like, do you have any idea why we're doing this?
What, this LIJ Just Five Guys series?
Yeah. Like, have we just milked this? Like, we've milked it to the point of no return, I feel like.
That's very sexual phrasing there. I like it. Okay, so Taka got the pin over Bushi, didn't he, at New Year Dash? So I'm assuming Bushi's getting his win back here. Then we got Hiromu versus Doki in the sixth match. And I think Doki could pick up the win there. I mean, I don't think he's ever beaten Hiromu, if I'm not mistaken. So I think this would be a cool spot. Like, I can't see LIJ sweeping against Just Five Guys. Just Five Guys have got to win some matches. So I think Doki will beat Hiromu in the sixth match. So I'm going Bushi to get his win back over Taka, and then Doki to beat Hiromu to tie up 1-1.
I mean, we're setting up the juniors, aren't we? We got Despy's got some or show, should I say?
Show's first defense will be against Doki. I could see like the winner of this match being the next person to challenge. And
no doubt.
Could work for both. I mean, Show versus Doki or Despy versus Doki would be a good match.
Either one I take. I think everybody enjoys the Doki. Yeah. I mean, but that's what we're doing here, right? This is what these matches are for. Taka Michinoku. Unbelievable. What are we doing in this day and age? Here's the thing, though. The guy, well, I mean, again, he's not Michinoku Pro guy, in the fucking late 80s, or excuse me, early 90s. But man, I love it when they just like they just pop people in randomly. They just fucking Yuji Nagata. You know what I mean? Okay, Takuma Tsunoka. Like it's just I love it when they do that. Okay, all right. So we're setting up the junior situation here. There. All right. What else we got?
Yeah, seventh match is Shingo Takagi against Taichi, where I think the sort of unofficial stipulation is that the loser has to delete their YouTube account or something. And I also think potential here for the winner of this to, I don't know, I was going to say be a future challenger for the world title, or maybe just a future challenger for one of the singles titles. You put that idea in my head. I just want to see Taichi doing more stuff. So
Yeah.
I think Taichi wins this and maybe goes on to challenge for something.
Yeah, I would love that. I think that's and here's the thing too. These guys work really well together. So I think the match will be really good. Yeah, I would like to see just let's put a little bit more emphasis on Taichi. And again, we're talking about New Japan Cup right around the corner. Like he's a guy. I don't think Shingo necessarily needs to have that momentum built. I think a guy like Taichi definitely does. So let's do that. Let's make that happen and delete whatever fucking YouTube account you want. I don't give a shit. But in my eyes, this is about New Japan Cup and who needs the heat up. And to me, that's Taichi. So let's give him the win.
Then the eighth match is the hair versus hair match with Yota Tsuji against Yuya Uemura. So Yuya has sort of been getting the upper hand, I think, for a lot of this feud. And I think if we're just looking in terms of hair aesthetics, I've said before, I think Yuya arguably looks better with short hair. So I think it's time for him to re-embrace the short hair look.
Wow.
And that's why I'm picking Yota Tsuji to win this one.
Weird that we're doing this type of gimmick match, don't you think, between these two guys? I mean, look, I'm all for once again heating up the young stars that we need to do, but we're going with a hair match, huh? To make that happen, I think that's pretty interesting. I think everybody has this match circled as something everybody's keeping an eye on. Like, this is once again an important match that people will turn back the hands of time to reference as we get into their careers even deeper. I just think the stipulation is a little bit weird. I mean, look, somebody might want a haircut, Summer's right around the corner. Nobody wants to have that long straggly hair, so maybe they want it. And they decided to book an angle around it. But yeah, I just think it's kind of weird that it's okay. These two guys at this point of their careers, and it's a hair versus hair. Someone, and let's bring back the bit if we could. Someone, Joel, is going to be a bald-headed geek.
Yeah, that's why I'm curious. Like, what is the extent of the hair stipulation here? Is it going to be like full buzz cut? Like back to young line, shave off the eyebrows as well for good measure.
Ooh. All body hair. I think like they take down the pants. They get a Brazilian.
Waxing the pubes, yeah.
Yeah.
Back sack and crack right in the middle of the ring.
I mean, that's my thinking of a hair versus hair match. That would be more painful, to be honest. You know what they always do, though? They can never get the fucking clippers working, right? It always like jams up or clogs up, or somebody doesn't charge the fucking thing, and they're ripping the skin off the poor person who's got to get their head shaved, and it just winds up being a tangled mess. So maybe we'll see some hair removed in ring, but then afterwards,
It's got to be a scissors job, surely. With
it has to
how
be.
long their hairs are.
I would hope that you can't just go right in there with a razor, because that's what'll happen. It'll just get locked up and jammed up. There's too much hair. You got to cut first, then shave. Come on. I hope so. I hope they do it right. But yeah, all those hair versus hair and the sweat, and it's just like wet hair in the blades. Come on, scissors. You got to scissor it.
The next match, you got Naito and Sonata slipping over clumps of greasy hair that have fallen in the ring.
Right. I mean, that might make the match more interesting. Okay.
All right, ninth match then, main event, IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. The champion Tetsuya Naito defending against the challenger Sonata. I mean, look, honestly, this might be the worst built
It's awful.
world title match ever in my time as a fan in this company, because I was very loudly critical of Sanada and what I thought was wholly inadequate build up to the Wrestle Kingdom match. And he somehow managed to do even less this time. It's that meme. I love her lack of energy. Go, girl, give us nothing. Like, this is just, it's remarkable. It's dead.
It is
absolutely
remarkable,
dead. Their interactions, the bit of the match they had in the faction warfare gauntlet thing, dead. The build, dead. Like, Naito's completely given up. He looks genuinely. He looked for the Wrestle Kingdom build up. He looked annoyed, but now he just looks like all the light's gone from his eyes. He's just like staring hopelessly at the camera, like, what is going on? Why am I still wrestling this guy? Why? What are they doing?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And again, if from what we were told is true, he was Sonata, that is, was worked that entire Wrestle Kingdom match with a injury. So you would think that would be the perfect opportunity to kind of take him out of the picture, let him heal, and let's get somebody else to challenge. Nope. Nope. Not only did they not do that, Joe, they doubled down. They doubled the fuck down on this. Chicago, John Moxley will challenge again in Chicago against Naito. There's no shot. Tell me there's no shot that Naito doesn't go into that match without the title. Tell me there's no shot.
Man, if Sonata wins this title,
you're done.
Then
Are you done?
I think I might be done.
that
would have to be like the most and in context, there's been a lot of absolutely nutty booking decisions, like galaxy brain shit over the last few years following this company. But that surely, like, Sonata winning this title would be number one in terms of what fucking planet are we on?
If he wins this title, again, I just it's impossible for me to even fucking comprehend at this point. There's I'm actively going into this match rooting for Naito to win, just because I cannot imagine our state of mind if that happens. I just can't. I don't even want to think of it. I don't even want to think about our Discord. I don't even want to think about Twitter. I don't even want to think about just the amount of texts with the eye roll emoji.
I would not be able to, there would be no way for me to have any kind of rational discourse. I would not be able to review it or analyze it or try and make any sense of it. I'd have to just make a noise, like some sort of primal scream on the podcast. So the next show would just be me going, "Ah!" and then that would be it. And you won't hear from me again for several months.
I just, like, I almost want to be there for it, just the madness of it. There is no fucking way this can happen, and all I see is myself editing audio of this show into little clips of saying this can't happen. We're going to jump out a window if this happens. This is the worst build, and like under a bed of like the saddest music, like Nine Inch Nails hurt. Like, just all I see is me editing this fucking cold open to the show when he fucking does this. That's all I see in my head.
Can I suggest a different tune for it, though?
Sure. What would you like?
I think the Silent Hill 2 dog ending credits song, which I'll play for you now.
Okay.
So. That's the kind of vibe I'm looking for, with like maybe some sort of image of Gedo's face superimposed on the dog pulling all the levers, being the architect of my mental breakdown.
Love it. Like I just see like his head spinning, like a twirly spinner thing, just like insane face. Yeah. Look, I don't know. I don't I don't know what we'll do. I truly don't know what we'll do. There's no fucking way this can happen. I'm saying it. I believe it. I'm knocking on wood. I got my fingers crossed. You name it. It's all happening. There's no fucking way this can happen. Please,
And
Pro
every
Wrestling
single
Jesus.
listener to this podcast now is going to be on their knees praying for the Sonata win, just to see what's going to happen,
Yeah.
just to see what
No doubt.
the reaction will be.
Yeah. Well, by the time fucking people listen to this show, it'll already have happened. So it'll be quite a moment.
Enjoy the last episode, everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll
Nearly made it to 300. We were so close.
We were right there. We were so. It's meant to be. We were never meant to get 300, right? This is how it ends. We get to 299. Yeah, perfect end. Perfect. Well, listen, it was great while it lasted, everyone. I'm going to go jump out a window.
Let's do a few questions before we get out of here. JJJ Stark says, do you think New Japan avoids giving the rocket pushes to young lions like Okada's return from excursion because it leaves a lack of stories to tell about the struggle to the top? They seem to be all about the fall before the rise. Yeah, what do you attribute that to? Why have we not seen anyone get the treatment that Okada got back in, 2012?
Right. I mean, again, everybody wants to bring up the fact that, he did have a match with Yoshihashi before making the challenge. I think the tune that they march to is if it just like in most sports where you got to pay your dues, you got to go through the minors, the lower level leagues to earn your spot, and once you get there, then you got another rung of the ladder to climb to them make a name for yourself, and it's that general progression that they hold true and they hold dear to their hearts, and in many cases, I'm all for. Trust me, I don't want to mislead people and think that I want this to happen all the time. The reason why we were screaming from a mountaintop was because we came out of COVID. We knew contracts were going to be a problem even back then. Nobody knew that it was going to turn out like this, but okay, let's. We knew that there was an urgency that needed to occur, and it just didn't happen. They stuck with the guns. They stuck with the plan, and I respect that mostly. Like to me, that's I enjoy the ride. I do. I thoroughly do. I don't want this company to be WWE, where it's one vignette and you're fucking this guy all of a sudden that I'm supposed to take seriously. I like the build. I think it's what makes this company very special. So yeah, I mean, hopefully that answers your question.
Multiverse A says, of the young guns who have big matches this weekend, who do you think will have the best performance to catapult themselves as a serious contender for New Japan Cup? Also, is it a spoiler that Yota will keep his glorious locks as they are on the Resurgence poster? This is a really hard one to call because famously, Sanada in the run-up to last year's New Japan Cup was on a shitty losing streak. Like, he lost to Manabu Soya and everyone said, oh, look, he's in the toilet. But then he won the whole cup. So I don't know if this is a situation where you're looking at someone to have a big performance and a big win at New Beginning to be like, yes, that is your guy for New Japan Cup. So that's a really difficult one. But I mean, I'd say Tsuji is probably the guy that, big win over Yuya, shaves his head, and then maybe goes on a deep run for New Japan Cup. But I mean, New Japan Cup is just really unpredictable. So I'm really excited to get those brackets and do a bit of do the old pick'ems on the podcast. Oh no, wait, we're ending the podcast. I forgot. But yeah, anyone who you think comes out of this weekend that is coming as a serious contender for New Japan Cup?
Well, we talked about Ren, right, and what we were feeling there. Yeah, I think that hair match. I think that's a match that sticks out like a sore thumb to me. Where both guys really have a lot to gain. And it might not even be the guy who gets the win and doesn't get their head shaved. It might be the guy who gets his
Yeah.
head shaved.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm kind of circling those three. I know that's a shitty answer, but to me, that hair match is really one of those. Okay, let's put a little marker in time and remember this as we move forward.
Rob says, if you could choose 2 external wrestlers for New Japan Cup, who would you pick? Personally, I think Josh Alexander would be fun, as would Luke Jacobs. I really like both those picks. I don't think either of them will be in. Again, if we've got Soberano on a contract for a year, let's put him in New Japan Cup.
Any
And
Noah?
another person.
Any Noah participants?
Yeah. Can we put?
I would have no
Kiyomiya
problem with
in?
that. Yeah, I have no problem with that. I think any. Well, we know. You know, we know one of.
Yeah.
I think he's a big fan of Baltimore. That's
Yes,
the
very
band.
subtle clues we left
Yes,
last week.
A little
Everyone's scratching
80s,
their heads.
a little
What could they possibly
80s.
mean?
Right. Everybody Google Baltimore now. All right. Look, so that's that. Yeah, I mean, I think the names you mentioned are pretty solid as well.
Right, last one here. I'm going to take. Matthew says, "What was the Super J-Cast match of the year for 2023?" I still don't know what to do with these awards. Should we like reveal one
Yes.
winner per week?
I mean, yeah, I would say let's just quickly read off the winners.
No, I think we should do
One a
one
week?
category each week because I'm
You
too
got it.
tired to do all of them. So
I think that's a great idea.
I'll do the top 3. So in third place with 231 points was Shota Umino versus Will Ospreay from Power Struggle. In second place with 297 points was the Tetsuya Naito versus Will Ospreay G1 Climax semi-final. And the winning match, of course, there should be no surprise to anyone, runaway leader, 839 points. Will Ospreay completing the hat trick of top 3 matches here against Kenny Omega, the first match at Wrestle Kingdom. So I think that was also that won the Voices of Wrestling Match of the Year award, didn't it? Which it's nice to be back in the big times, isn't it? Where you have a Wrestle Kingdom match being at the top of the consensus match of the year list where it belongs. Even though both of these guys are now AEW contracted wrestlers, it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, at least it was in our home building. You know, that's what I say. It. That's a New Japan show. There you go. There's match of the year. Next week we'll do. I don't know. You pick. We don't have to do it now, but we'll do one a week. That's going to be
whatever the people demand. The first person's writing and says, "Hey, what was the show of the year, or who was the tag team of the year?" Then
perfect.
I'll let you know if anyone cares.
July.
All right. Okay. Right. Let's say goodbye then. redcircle.com/shows/super-j-cast. If you want to send some money our way, send me your receipts. I'll hook you up to the Discord at Cobra Kawaii and ProWrestlingTees.com/super-j-cast for our great t-shirts. And we're going to do it. that
yes, we
t-shirt
are.
idea we've been discussing.
We'll have.
Okay, so anyone
I promise
who
you
could do t-shirt design, get in touch with me.
Yes. Get a hold of Joel if you are good at t-shirt designs. Rather simple, but we have specific idea of what we're looking for. And if you can help us, we'll be able to pay you handsomely, as they say.
Thanks as always to editor Dan, who's on Twitter at LousyHero219. Follow us on Twitter at the SuperJcast. Thank you everybody for listening, and goodbye.
Hello there, everybody. It's me, Garrett Kidney, the co-host of You've Got to Be Kidding Me on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network.
And I am Liam Jones, my full name, and I'm also a part of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network as a co-host for You've Got to Be Kidding Me.
We are a TNA history podcast that covers TNA 1 month at a time. We cover all the drama, all the matches, all the Vince Russo nonsense you could ever want in your life.
Have you heard of TNA? I bet you have, but would it be funnier if two people made jokes over it the whole time? Probably.
So if that sounds like fun to you, check it out on this very Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network, and Liam will do bits and whatnot.